Welcome to another season of me being me. So, I know, y'all know that I have been questioning some of the things that I do. And I'm not talking about questioning, I'm talking about um my artistic choices. Cause I got so many and it's weird. And there's so many different mediums that I could use in order to execute my craft and my message for other people. Don't mind the towel in the back, that's temporary. It's temporary because when I move into the new house, it's gonna have glass doors on the wardrobe. It's not gonna have towels hanging on there. It's gonna be in the steam room. Anyway, so today I just had a little bit of a conversation with God with regards to my life, where I see it's going, and being thankful for all the things that I've already been through, despite how traumatic it was. But it did build a new version of me in me. And that version would be the requirement to step into the place where I was called. And a lot of people are going to say, Danny, you're just being traumatic. Danny, you're just being this. Danny, you're just being that. But in the meanwhile, they're forgetting about the fact that there are some things that you have to do, some things that you have to go through, and then some things that you have to pick up and let go of in order to get closer towards the person that God has called you to be. Now, I've been through my fair share of fuck ups. Yeah, let's just say that right now. I know I'm going to get demonetized, but it's like a personal vlog. So everything that I say on here, it's a personal vlog, okay? Now, continuing. So a lot of the stress has come through very different aspects of my life. Whether it was breakups, whether it was not family, I wouldn't say family not believing in me, but just not being able to see the path, where it's so frustrating, where over explaining it, and oftentimes confuses them more. And they don't understand where I'm trying to go. Which I understand, at the end of the day, God was the one that gave me the vision of them. So it's kind of sets the standard if you really do think about who should be prioritizing your vision, which is you. Because if no one believes it, you gotta make them believe it. You gotta make them believe it with proof, with work, with determination. You gotta make them believe it. And I'm not saying this to overpressurize you. Because one thing that I learned is that pressure only kills what you want to go for. It only kills it. Why? Because then the pressure stems from the wrong place. So let me give you a little bit of an example. When you are someone, this was someone that I was like years ago, right? When you are someone who is hyperfixated on just trying to make something work in order to achieve the outcome, no matter how hard you're going to try and get around it, everything involved in that process is going to become difficult for you. Especially if the outcome is very monetary or just mostly valuable for self-interest and not necessarily social interest, if you get what I'm saying. So if you look at something like someone wanting to build an organization, building a business, you got to understand that your core mission should never be profit. It shouldn't. Number one, that doesn't differentiate you. Number two, that just makes you very generic. And it makes you very fake. And we all know about fakeness in our lives. It doesn't have to stem from organizations. It can stem from fake friendships. But anyway. Excuse me. Ooh. Let's continue. So, we know that when it comes to having a specific objective, when it comes to growing into the people that we want to be, ultimately what we need to do should be the main factor. What we need to do to become the people that we want to be should be the main factor, should be the main drive to making future decisions. And I'm not talking about becoming a person who is wealthy or rich or has a lot of fancy friends and a nice little man on a yacht named Lord Farquaad. I don't know why the hell that name came to mind, but anyway. Uh, Lord Farquaad was crazy. You can just imagine the Bible. What's your name? B.O.B. So they call me. But anyway, we carry on. You need to start understanding that, especially when you follow what God has given you, and I'm not just talking about the skills, I'm also talking about your reason, your purpose, because your purpose and your talent / your gifts are two different things. You can have the gift of musicality, not just in movement, but in voice, in DJing, for crying out loud. Wait, let me try and get a thumbnail clip. Okay. I don't know why I just did that, but anyway. I loved it. I love being quirky. If y'all don't know how to be quirky with yourselves and love yourselves like that, y'all don't love yourselves. If I get haters down below, y'all know it's because they don't love themselves and they need some prayer. Where was I? I have such a short-term memory. It's really not funny. Yeah. So your gift and your purpose are two completely different things. You can have the gift of musicality, but the purpose is not always going to be given to you from the moment you are born. It's not. It's not. For a lot of people, it's not like, hold on. I'm thirsty. That's it, boy. Look at this. Look near this. Oh. Sorry, it's just the Coca-Cola. It's the sugar flavor. Caffeine. I lost my train of thought again. No, I did not. I am confident that I didn't. So therefore, what I was talking about was your gift and your purpose being sold separately. The gift is given to you because it's a gift. It's like Santa Claus giving you a present on Christmas unless it's cold because you've been naughty, which I don't think God does. You don't do that because you don't even know what you're about to do when you are born in the future. You don't even know how you're about to feel. You don't know how to about to... Anyway, that is given to you. Your purpose comes separately through continuous prayer and engagement with God. And I'm not talking about engagement in terms of going to church every single Sunday saying hallelujah and then going washabala because the Holy Spirit hits you. For some people that's real, for some people that's not. For some people that's real, for some people that's... Sorry, my phone vibrated. You know what else could be vibrating? Anyway. What is going on? No, this is more important. So the purpose usually sounds simple once you get it. But that would already have been at a point when it has already taken years to just find out what it's about. And I know what my purpose is. I've figured it out. It's just very difficult right now. Because this thing about purposes, the thing about purposes is that it will never work without God, because the purpose is way too big. And that's the nice thing about God. He gives you big purposes. He don't give you little purposes where you got to work 9 to 5 at a desk in an office somewhere where you're just like everybody else and you're trying to live a daily normal life, especially if you have a certain calling upon your life. He gives you the big purpose where you're basically controlling a country. It feels like you are controlling a country, and you know how that may feel. Right. Obviously, I'm not studying public administration. I'm doing marketing, for crying out loud. It's something that is really not in my lane. But, you know, the one thing that I do know is that God will never give people small visions, not small visions. He is in the business, and this is one thing that I learned from, I almost said Steve Aoki, the DJ. It's because I'm looking at the DJ control. I heard this saying from Steve Harvey that said, God is in the make your dream come true business. He don't do small prayers. He only leads big ones. And the reason why I think he mostly likes the bigger prayers that you have and that you want to have accomplished in your life and answered in your life is mostly because it involves one element that you will have to work very hard at understanding that you should have it, you can have it, and you just need to be able to maintain it. And that is his trust. Trust is very hard to maintain because we've all heard about that verse, right? Trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding. Why did I say that? Why did I say like a medieval soldier about to go into war? But you understand where I'm going with this, right? That verse sticks out for a lot of people because trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding. Because once you start leaning on your own understanding, that's when things can like go downhill. And that's not nice. Okay, that is not nice. That is not something you want to experience. Is you relying on your own vision and then expecting to take a vision that God gave you and sort it out for yourself, because that's ultimately not what he gave it to you for to do. He gave it to you so that y'all could work through it together. Like y'all are business partners. At the end of the day, God is not only your daddy, he is your business partner. He is your friend. He is your messenger. He is your strategic communicator, right? He is your communications officer. He spreads your purpose solely. Why is my hand so blue? Solely because, I think it's just because I'm very cold. Solely because he knows the extent to which your gift can do. Oh, actually, no, that didn't make sense. He knows the extent to which what your gift can accomplish, not just for you, for other people. That sounds way better. Anyway. So when you really think about it, your purpose, okay, is something that can take months, years, even maybe a decade to develop. Remember, Jesus didn't know about his purpose until 30 years after being a carpenter. Of course, he knew that he was on that earth for a reason, for people. But he only found out to what extent his purpose was after those 30 years that God was shaping him. And I think that's one thing that we all need to realize, is that God's timing is never too late. It's always perfect. God's timing is always perfect. As much as you feel like, oh no, I need to do this now. I need to get into it now. I need to go where other people are going because obviously I feel like I'm falling behind. Not to pull a Nicki Minaj on your ass, but you need to understand where I'm coming from, because a lot of people experience this too. And it's the fact that you feeling like you're waiting for a really long time probably makes you think that this is something that God doesn't want you to do. And in the meanwhile, you are exactly where you need to be. So as cliche as it sounds, I need you to trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. And always submit to him, and I mean full-heartedly, and he will make the path straight. He will give you the answers that you need. But it takes action. Sometimes that action doesn't mean doing things by yourself. That just means going into prayer, knowing his peace, knowing his presence is with you, knowing that you can be at peace because he is, what's the word? Omnipresent. Knowing that you can do that is probably, or knowing that he can do that, is probably one of the coolest, most calming and peaceful things that you can admit. Because it's true. It is true. there may be some people who aren't religious that will watch this video. Maybe there will be some people who are spiritual, but either way, you take it into your own perspective, whether that is Jesus, whether that's God, whether that's the universe, whether that's whatever everyone else believes in, to which I'm not really educated in. So I'm not going to give a lecture on that. I can't. I won't. Because this is about God, or your spiritual forces, bringing you your purpose after your gift. Remember, the gift is there. The purpose comes later. The grind sold separately. I remember from that one person who always used to comment about that, right? The grind is sold separately. God gives you the vision. He gives you the purpose. He gives you the direction. He gives you even a little bit, not always, not often always the entire picture, but he does give you a little bit of the destination. But when it comes to the grind, putting in the work in order to get to the destination, that is sold separately. And that is something that is done with him as well. It can't be done with him because it's easy like that, right? Of course, it's not easy work-wise, but it's easy to be able to understand, okay, what can come next? Because you don't need to figure it out alone. Do you understand what I'm saying? Blah, 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 blah. You don't. I think it's the Coke. Not the cocaine. The Coca-Cola. That hit the spot in my cheeks. The ones up here, not that. Okay, so that's it that I want to record for the video. Goodbye!